Yo, what's good, folks? Welcome back to Alex Abroad. My name is Alex, and for those of you who don't know, I've been living overseas for the past maybe 18 plus years now. I've lived in South Korea for about 7 years. I lived in China for 7 years, Vietnam 3 years, and now I'm back in China, where I've almost been back for about 1 year. In my previous video, I know you've all seen that I went to the city of Changzhou, which is not too far from Nanjing, where I previously was, and where I'm back to again. So everything that happened in Changzhou came to an end as fast as it started. And in this video, we'll kind of delve into exactly what happened. So I quit my job here in Nanjing about 2 months ago, and maybe I didn't really think this through. So yes, that is definitely my fault, because it's getting close to Chinese New Year, and a lot of schools and training centers, kindergartens, whatever you want to call them, they're not really hiring right now. All the hiring will start back after Chinese New Year. So it's been kind of difficult to get a job. So I've talked to an agent that I know who brought me here to Nanjing, and granted, she did help me out. So once again, I'm thankful and I'm grateful for that. But few videos back, I'm starting to realize what's really going on over here with certain people. Obviously, I cannot generalize Chinese people as a whole, but I think it's more so prominent now with these type of situations that are happening. And like I said, I will delve into this in this video right now. So what happened? Her and I, we had an agreement. She was like, hey, you know what? You can come to Changzhou. You can teach over there. That way you don't have to pay rent where you are and waiting for a job till after New Year's, which I do have a job. I got hired through her to go work in another city called Dalian. But like I said, they're not hiring until, actually not hiring, I already got hired, but they don't want me to come over there and start until after Chinese New Year. So she made an offer. She was like, hey, you can come here to Changzhou. You can teach Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I believe. And she would pay for my apartment, which once again, I showed you guys in the video. But she really didn't think lots of things through. And as someone who's been here for a long time, I'm just tired of dealing with certain type of incompetence and a lack of punctuality. And you know what I mean? Just people not really considering other people. And these type of things kind of get to me, even though I don't really want them to get to me, because I don't want to be pissed off and living a miserable life over here in China. And I genuinely like China. I don't need to go into that, but like I said, I like the culture to a degree. I like the food. I like the scenery. I like the peacefulness that is here, the tranquility, safety, and like I said, amongst other things. And I guess that can be for another video, where I can make a video about why I like living in China in more detail. So anyway, oh my goodness, I don't want to have too much drama, but here we go. She told me to come Friday, which was what, 3-4 days ago, right? And she told me to come to the train station at 10:30 in the morning. And so what happened? I do what I was supposed to do. I arrived there, and then what happens? I'm left standing there in the cold for about 2 hours, not knowing where to go exactly. There was no location sent. I mean, absolutely nothing. And I was texting her, calling her, and I get no reply. Just for 2 hours later to get a reply and say, oh, I'm sorry, I was busy. So I just want you guys to put yourself into my shoes, okay? Like, I speak Chinese, and there's a reason I'm saying this, but not fluently. I cannot have like a business transactional type of conversation with somebody. It's just very basic, to get around. This is what I learned, not to get lost in just very like the fundamentals. You know what I mean? So like I said, I get there, there's no location. There is no sense of telling me where to go. She's nowhere to be around. And like I said, I'm left there kind of stranded, waiting to see what's going on, because I was supposed to move into the apartment that she provided me. So that already kind of pissed me off. And I try not to be too emotional, because, you know, emotions can definitely cloud a person's judgment. And when you get angry, you start not to think rationally. But I'm to the point where I just had it up to here with this type of shit, and I'm sick of it. You know what I mean? I'm genuinely sick of this shit. And so she finally comes over. She doesn't come over there. She finally drops a location, tells me to go to this hotel and check in by myself. And usually, you know, the agents in China are pretty good about these type of things. They send you the locations, they pick you up, or at least have like a taxi, or their associates or somebody that's working with them to come over there and pick you up and show you where to go. So I was left kind of on my own. I don't know what she expected for me to magically figure out where I'm supposed to stay until the apartment was ready the next day. And long story short, I check into the hotel, spend the night over there, and the next morning she was like, okay, we'll go to the apartment that I have gotten for you. And I was like, okay, cool. So she gives me a location, I go over there, and once again, she's nowhere to be around. And I'm left there with the apartment agent, cannot communicate with them. I don't know what's going on. And in that moment, I was like, man, you know what? This shit just seems off for some reason. You know, this person offered me a position. They invited me to come, and they're nowhere around. And I'm, like I said, I'm standing there dumbfounded because I don't know what to do, and I can't talk to this guy with my shitty Chinese. And I just I can't do it. So I was like, man, okay. For me personally, that was strike two. Come to find out, Monday, actually not to come to find out, I already knew that. She expected me to come to work on Monday, and I was like, okay, cool. Then she drops me the location of the office, and I took a taxi, and I kid you not, it was like almost an hour away. And I was like, this is no way I am doing anything like this. Now I know some people might watch this video and say, oh, Alex, you're lazy or whatever. Nah, man, you don't understand. You know, imagine if I brought somebody to America. They spoke no English. They get off the train station, and I'm nowhere around, and I told them I would provide them accommodation, I would pay for their hotels, I would do this and that, kind of like the lady promised, and I don't show up. And like I said, I can't deal with this stuff no more. So what did I do? I had a demo on Sunday, which also came at the last minute. And for those of you who don't know or have never taught English before, a demo essentially is like it's like a marketing class. You go over there, jump around, entertain the kid, make the parents happy, and hopefully they sign up for the classes. So this was also unexpected. So I go over there, I do my demo, like I said, and after that, I talked to a few of my friends who's also been here a long time, and they're kind of pretty well connected here in China. I have a friend who's been here like about 15, 16 years, and I have another buddy of mine that I know. He's actually pretty famous over here in China, and I've spoken to them just to make sure, you know, I'm not making any irrational decisions or anything like that. One of my friends, I'll just say his name is John. He was kind of neutral about it, and I understand. He's a nice guy, and he also doesn't really like confrontations like I do. But my other friend, you know, he speaks he speaks fluent Chinese, and he was like, you know what? If I was you and a person said that they were going to do this, they were going to do that, and they were going to do this, and none of that happened, then if I was you, I would just bounce. So like I said, the whole Changzhou thing, where I was supposed to go there and stay for about a month and a half and then go to my new job in Dalian. After that, it came to an abrupt halt because of working with these type of people. And guess what? When I told her, I was like, you know what? I'm not staying. I'm going to leave. she victimized herself, and like I said, that's already strike four for me. I cannot deal with these type of people, and I'm trying to figure out like what's going on over here in China. You know what I mean? And like I said, maybe I shouldn't generalize too much, but it's so prevalent now where you have to put up with these type of people who, in a sense, offer you the bare minimum. Okay, I've been here long enough. I know how this system works, or how people communicate and talk, and for the most part they've been good, but there's something that's going on recently, and the best way I can try to explain it is like, you know, if you start a mission and you have a genuine passion of bringing foreigners here to China, you know, to get them to immerse into culture, or just come over here and teach English, you know, and maybe someone comes from another country and is trying to better the life. Maybe that was your mission initially, but I don't know what happened. Like ever since COVID, everyone is trying to compensate for the losses, and the main mission is no longer important. Right now, it's just stacking as much money as possible. So like I said, and it really deals with the people who operate in these like training center gigs, and they really start to show the true colors. Like I said, I appreciate that she got me an apartment, you know what I mean? She obviously didn't have to do that, but like I said, she invited me, and to be honest with you all, I kind of hesitated doing this when she did bring it up initially. I don't know, just something felt off. And well, I'm not going to show you all the messages that I got on my phone after I told her. I was like, look, this is not going to work out. I'm going to leave. And then, you know, the true colors finally showed. And I hate to burn bridges with people, but I think like it needs to happen, because I think for the most part, these people think that they're untouchable. And here's one thing that I do know about, I guess, majority of Chinese folks that I wouldn't say personally know, but like, you know, how it's never the person's fault. You know, they will always redirect the blame on you, and that's all because of the whole face culture and an image that, you know, that they put on. And when I sat down and I made that kind of smoking of me sitting down at my apartment and smoking and making that video about, you know, people showing only things that look good on the outside, this is the prime example of what's been happening over here. And it's, I think it's more so problematic now. Now, do I hate the Chinese culture? Absolutely not. But that doesn't mean I have to agree with it. And I still want to stay here because I know not everybody is like that. It's just, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm going through a season of having to deal with people like this. I don't know if that's going to build some strength or endurance, but like I said, I've had enough and I choose not to deal with it. And I hope anyone that comes over here will never have to deal with these type of things. And I'm not over here trying to get some pity or victimize myself. I'm not this type of person. If I fuck up or I do some bullshit, I have no problem of saying that, hey, look, I've fucked up, I've done some bullshit. I'm pretty a transparent person, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna try to come over here and make people agree with me. But like I said, you know, this is, I guess it's another topic as well, but like, I choose not to put up with this, and I hope anybody else that comes over here to China, they don't have to deal with this type of stuff. As I've stated many times, my first 7 years in China, when I came here the first time, it was awesome, amazing. I loved it. I loved the people. I loved the friends that I've made, and actually, majority of my friends are Chinese. And like I said, I've never had this problem before. But it's just, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what's going on. But I'm sick of this like surface level bullshit though. In the other video, I kind of addressed this problem where everything looks beautiful, shiny, and polished on the outside, but internally everyone is pretty much suffering. And I would say everyone, with an exception of whoever the person is that's running the show, because they deflect and they always put the blame on the people that they hire, and these are the people that are suffering. So I guess I kind of just wanted to go for a walk and maybe talk to a camera. Maybe someone is out there going through similar things with some agents or whatever they're dealing with, and maybe it's relatable to somebody. Don't be afraid to reach out or comment, because I do have some contacts which I should have used. Actually, I'm going to use now, because with this lady, I'm not going to blast her or put her name on here or anything of this nature. I'm not a vengeful type of person. I just cut ties and move on about my life. And there's lots of jobs and opportunities here. There's lots of positions that are good. There's lots of people that are great people. Like I said, just because you have a bad experience, you know, it doesn't make out the whole place to be like this. I mean, imagine you go out one day, I guess this is like an analogy or a metaphor or whatever. You know, you go out, you eat a pizza, you get sick, and you get food poisoning, and now for the rest of your life, you choose not to eat pizza anymore just because you had one bad experience. No, you don't stop eating pizza, you probably stop going to that restaurant. And in this case, I will stop messing with these type of people. This is like, there was like an image that I seen, you know, of with a guy stuck like in a pit, and there's another guy that's trying to reach out and grab him, but he can't really grab him. But he has a ladder that's next to him, but he's refusing to use it. So it's pretty much like people that are pretending to help you, but for their own self-interest, if that makes sense, to make themselves look good. Anyway, so this is pretty much the story. I'm back here in Nanjing, and though I did get that job in Dalian from this woman, I still haven't canceled you know, myself going over there, because I actually kind of do want to go check Dalian out, but more so than that, I want to go and move back to Guangdong. I feel like that's where I want to be. That's where majority of my friends are, both foreigners and Chinese, and I don't know, I just know a lot of people over there. So maybe I'll just completely sever ties, and I don't know, I don't really want to talk to her just because the way she spoke to me over the phone. And like I said, I'm not going to blast her and put the messages that she sent, but I mean, if anybody ever needs receipts, I have the receipts. You know, that's for me personally, if it ever came to some bullshit. Anyway, but I'm here back in Nanjing 2 days after I came over there, and you know, just kind of walking around here at night. It's pretty chill. I'm over here around this mall area just below where I live. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you don't want to do any of that shit, you know, go ahead and move on to the next video. Peace.